Hello, we're going to talk about the primitive data types that are found in Java. The first primitive data type that we can use is the byte data type. The byte data type has a minimum value of -128 and has a maximum value of 127. It has a default value of 0. The second data type that we can use is the short. The short has a minimum value of -32,768 and a maximum value of 30,767. It has also a default value of 0. The int is the third type that we can use. It can accommodate a value up to 2 to the power 31 minus 1, of course, and have a minimum value of -2 to the power 31 as minimum value. Then we have the long, which can accommodate a maximum value of 2 to the power 63 minus 1 as a maximum value, and -2 to the power 63 as a minimum value. Then, when we finish with these data types, which are, as we can see, complete numbers, we can have also decimal numbers. We have two types for decimal numbers. We have the float and we have the double. Of course, the double, that is the bigger than the float. We can see here that in order to use the float, we have to use the f after the number. Same thing here for the long. We have to use the L after the number to specify that is a long. By default, all whole numbers are considered as integer, and by default, all decimal numbers are considered as doubles. Of course, then we have two more data types. We have the Boolean, which can only have values of false and true, not like in C. In C, we have the 0 and the 1. Here in Java, we only have false and true. Default value, it is the false. And last, we have the char, which can contain only one character. This one character has a minimum value of 0, maximum value, and of course some examples here about characters, special characters, /n, which is the new line, /t, which is the tab, single quote, double quote. Now that we know that different types that are available, how can we use them in our program? Always we start by specifying the data type, then a name of the variable that we are going to use. When we say a variable, it is like a cup that will hold values inside of it. Primitive data types hold their values inside the variable that we have declared. Later, we will see how the object data types have their variables contain numbers that are a reference for the original object that contains the value that we are looking for or that we are going to work with. So how do we declare a variable? We declare it, as I have said, we declare it with the data type, name of the variable, and we could in the same time initialize it, or we could just declare it and then after initialize it. But there is something important to know and to make sure that whenever we create a variable, we have to initialize it first before using it in any later expression, because Java doesn't allow that. It will tell us that the variable p, like here, it might not have been initialized because we didn't give it any value to start with. Another example here about how things could be wrong. For instance, here I have a variable s, and I said that if this condition is true, s will becomes 12. Yet here Java says that this is not correct. Why? Because this is something logical. So what if this wasn't correct, was wrong? So this will not get affected. So s will not get initialized. So the program will arrive here with s not initialized. So if we have any conditions like that, we have to provide the else for it in order to give it a value whatever the condition is. And finally, we're going to talk about the final keyword. Whenever we have a variable that we want to make it as a constant value, that means it will not change in the program. We can declare it by the keyword final, integer if it is an integer, and we can give it a value when we are declaring it, or we can declare it and then initialize it. But of course, whenever it is initialized, it will never allow us to get modified. This could be very useful for us if we have values that are constants and we want to make sure that we don't by mistake change them into a new value. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you.